everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another story time video for you, so sit back, relax, grab yourself a snack. Tonight I am going to be snacking on these flaming hot ruffles because they are so good. I just recently tried them and they are one of my newfound favorites. And yeah, so get those snacks and enjoy this video because it's going to be a good one. So tonight's story time video is going to be a little bit different because it's just basically going to be memory stories that have to do with my cousins. I have so many cousins, and it's just going to be stories that are about them and growing up. And yeah, and for the sake of this video, I'm not going to use any of my cousins' real names because I don't really have any permission to use their names. I haven't asked anybody, so for my cousins watching, if you guys know, if you guys, what do you call it? If you guys remember these stories, then you know who you are, and I am disguising your guys' names. So without further ado, let's get these stories going. So my first story, my first memory is, let's see, what memory can I share? I remember growing up with some of my cousins. We used to live together. I used to live with my cousins like all the time. Like there wasn't really a dull moment, and there's one time that sticks out to me the most. I remember me and my cousin, we'll call her Chris. Me and Chris were in my room, and I remember this one time, it was on a Wednesday night, and back then my parents, they had a church, and every Wednesday night we had Bible study over at my house. And so me and my cousin Chris, I was gonna say my friend Chris, but me and my cousin Chris, we would always just think that, oh my god, Bible study is so boring, whatever. And so we just like would hang out in my room. So one night, my cousin Chris, she wanted to get her belly button pierced so bad to the point where she was gonna go ahead and do it herself. So she's like, oh my god, Tori, go with me to the kitchen, get some ice, and like, let's help me find a needle. No, I actually have a needle, and I'm gonna try and pierce my belly button. So she's planning all this. She got some ice, she's numbing up her stomach, trying to, you know, get this really cool, fashionable belly button ring. And as soon as it's numb, she's like, okay, here it goes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So she's like puncturing her belly button to the point where it's like bleeding, and it's not even going through. And the whole time she's like in pain. She's like, ow, ow, oh my god, it hurts. Oh my god, Tori, it hurts. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, Chris? Like, that's not professional. You're gonna get infected. And she's like, no, I really want one. I really want a belly button ring. And I was just thinking like, oh my god, you are so dumb. Like, first of all, you're gonna get in trouble by your mom. Second of all, you're probably doing it wrong. It's that needle is probably not even sterilized. You're gonna get infections and whatever. Turns out it was kind of a bad idea because it never went fully through, and I think it did get a little bit infected, but that night was just so funny. And then yeah, that night was just like crazy. Me and my cousins, we did crazy things. So that's that story. That's that little memory lane story. Another one was oh, my aunt and my uncle and my other cousins. Mind you, I have a ton of cousins. My other cousins, let's call them Priscilla and Ronnie. So Priscilla and Ronnie come over to my parents' house for dinner along with my aunt and uncle. And so we're eating in the backyard because my parents, they used to have this shed in the backyard, which was kind of like, for us, it was like a clubhouse. And we decorated it really cute, and we would always hang out there. We would eat in there. We would play house in there and like school or whatever. And so this one night, me, Priscilla, and Ronnie, and I think Victor and Raina, they were outside too. And Ronnie wanted to plug something into an outlet that was outside. So he's like, yeah, let me go plug this thing in, you know, because, oh, I think it was a lantern, and, you know, we needed more light because it's like super dark outside. We didn't have enough light. So he go gets a lantern from inside the house. And then we're like, oh yeah, that'll be cool, and it'll shine really bright. So he plugs it in, and then all of a sudden, all the lights, they flicker on and off like all crazy. And we're like, what the hell? What is that? And we go outside of the clubhouse, and my poor cousin, there's Ronnie. He got thrown on his back. His hair's all sticking up and his hands are all black. You guys, my cousin Ronnie got electrocuted. Yeah, I think he probably put the thing in too hard, or the plug didn't probably fit the outlet. But yeah, he got electrocuted. It was so funny, and like, just, I don't know, his hands were black, and my aunt was just like screaming. She was like so worried. She's like, oh my god, what are you doing? Yeah, that was another crazy memory. And see what else. So another memory I have of my cousins is when I was at my aunt and my uncle's house, another aunt and uncle, and two more cousins. I'm not going to use their names. I'll just call them, let's just call them Kim and, damn it, it can't be that hard just to pick a name. Kim and Natalie. So I'm over at my aunt and uncle's house, and I go into Kim and Natalie's room, and no, it's me and Natalie. We go over and go visit them, and me and Natalie, we go into Kim's room, and we're all thinking like, you know, like, oh, we're bored, we should do something fun. And back then we used to listen to this station called Q1047. I don't know what it's called now. I know it's still around, but I know it's called something different. I don't know what it's called. But back then it was Q1047, or maybe it is Q1047, I don't know. But anyway, back to the point. We're listening to our station, and we were just like, you know, jamming out, you know, just hanging out in Kim's room. And then Kim closes the door, and she's like, hey, you guys want to get high? And then I look at Kim, and then me and Allie look at each other. We're like, what? What do you mean? Do we want to get high? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're crazy. Like, shut up. And then she's like, yeah, you want to get high? And then we're all, I mean, okay, sure. I'm not even eating my chips. Look at that. So she goes under her bed, pulls out a Febreze bottle and a washcloth. And we're all thinking, I'm looking at Natalie, and Natalie's looking at me, and I'm like, the hell, what are you gonna do with that? And you're like, what? Like, I thought you said we were gonna get high. And she's like, no, this gets you high. So what you do is you put the washcloth over the Febreze spray, and you spray it, and it goes through the washcloth, and you inhale it. And we're like, oh, okay. So we're trying it, and I think we're so naive back then, where it's in our head. And so we've taken a few puffs after a couple minutes, and we're all thinking that we are higher than the sky. It's just like, we're just sitting there in her room, and just like, dude, this is cool. Like, yeah, we're high. Oh my god, we are like getting so messed up. We're faded. And then, so I take a couple more hits of the Febreze. By the way, kids, do not try that at home. No, it's dumb, it's stupid, and that's just, you know, bad habits. You know, don't do that at home, because then you'll act like, you know, like an idiot, just the way me and my cousins were. So, what do you call it? So yeah, after a couple hits, I'm thinking like, oh my god, I feel so lightheaded. Like, dude, this must be what it's like to be high. And my other cousins, Kim and Natalie, they're just like, yeah, oh my god. It was just so funny. And then Kim heard her mom coming down the hallway, and we're like, oh shit, oh my god, we just hide this. So she hides under her bed, and into, like, she throws everything under the bed and just hides it. And, you know, we're trying to act like all cool, like all straight. And my aunt comes into the room, and she's like, oh, dinner's gonna be ready soon, and blah blah blah. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, what are you guys up to? Why is this door closed? And we're like, no reason, just, you know, hanging out. And she's like, you guys are up to something. You guys are up to something. You guys better behave. Cut it out. And I don't know what it was, but I think she knew or what. But yeah, we never did that again. And then a couple days later, luckily we never got in trouble for it. So yeah, I mean, my mom knows about it now. She's watching this video, so sorry, Mom, your daughter was an idiot back then when she was younger.